Welcome back to another video from Let's DevOps. In today's video, we are going to talk about Ansible. Now, this is going to be a series of videos. I'm planning to make at least 4-5 videos on Ansible on different topics like how to get Ansible installed on Windows, how to start with your first playbook, what are role-based playbooks, what is Ansible Vault, how do you manage secrets, and so on. So this is going to be the first series of its kind. Hopefully you will all like it. And if you do like it, please do like, share, and subscribe it to your friends. Right. Let's start with today's video. So today's video is going to be how do we get Ansible installed on Windows and how do we get started with our first Ansible playbook. Now, to get Ansible installed on your Windows machine, there are a few commands that you would have to hit on your PowerShell, but I will help you with the detailed write-up of what needs to be done, plus the commands that needs to be executed from my Medium blog that I also write blogs on Medium. So I will share this Medium blog link on the description. You can look into it and follow the instructions. Maybe we can quickly run through orally because I just finished setting it up. So it's not much. We can just quickly orally run through what needs to be done. So on your Windows machine, open your PowerShell command prompt in the administrator mode and then hit on WSL install. Basically, it will get Ubuntu and different distributions available to your machine. So once you hit on WSL install and then hit WSL list online, you will see a lot of distributions that is available to your machine. And I generally use Ubuntu. So once you pick up the distribution that you want, you just go and hit WSL install Ubuntu. Once you do that, Ubuntu will get installed. And then if you go to your applications, you should see Ubuntu. And then when you open Ubuntu, you will land into a Unix terminal, a shell terminal. Just update and then do an upgrade just so that all the utilities and packages are up to date. And then it's pretty straightforward. We just have to go ahead and hit the sudo apt install Ansible, and it will get Ansible installed along with Python, which is a dependency for Ansible. While setting this up, Ubuntu will also ask you for a sudo password so that any high privilege activities that you perform, it will prompt you for a password, or whenever you run a command using sudo, it will ask you for a password. Right. So now we have the Ubuntu installed on the Windows machine and also Ansible installed. So let's do a quick check if Ansible is installed clean. Yes, it looks good. Perfect. Now let's get started with our first playbook, a very simple playbook to understand what Ansible is and what Ansible is generally used for. To give you an introduction, Ansible is a configuration management tool which is widely used across the industry for, as I said, handling and managing configurations. I've personally used Ansible for a lot of automations that involve DevOps tools. For example, I used Ansible extensively for any kind of API automation. For example, let's take the case of Nexus, or let's take the case of an GitLab. If I want to import some variables from production instance of GitLab to my dev instance of GitLab, just so to make them look alike, I use Ansible automation to fetch the variables from production GitLab and then create them on dev GitLab. Or let's say I'm using Nexus, an artifactory management tool. I want to create some repositories. I want to manage repositories. All of this I do using Ansible automation. Right. Now we are not going to get started with that detailed playbook yet. So let's first try and understand a simple playbook to get started with. Now I'm in my user directory and I don't have anything else but a sample playbook created. So your playbook is always in YAML format and you can name it however you want, .yml. And I've already feeded in a sample code in it. So let's run through it to understand how a Ansible playbook looks like. Right. As I said, it's in YAML format. The first 3 lines denote or we'll start with the first line name. So you start with what this playbook is. So you give a name for this playbook. Second one is the most important thing. It's the hosts. Right now, we are hitting it on localhost. Basically, it means that I want all of these tasks to be performed on this local machine where this Ansible playbook is sitting, residing. Ansible is also capable enough to execute tasks on different machines like a master slave. Your actual Ansible playbook can sit on a master machine, but then it can connect to multiple slave machines and execute this task on the slave machines. That is by having the SSH connectivity between the master and the slave. So you create an SSH key and then copy it to the slave machines, and thereby the SSH connectivity is established between the master and slave. And then you write tasks specifying on which hosts this needs to be executed, and Ansible will be able to perform these tasks on that specific host machines. But that's for another session. This is going to run on the local host, on the local machine, on the master machine itself. Third, we have something called as a become, and then it says yes. Basically, this is when you want to perform actions that require root privileges. So on the command line, you hit a sudo rm minus rf and then the directory name. Why do you go to sudo? Because you're deleting something which requires high privilege activity, and so you have to do a sudo. Same way, Ansible playbook, in this playbook also, we are going to perform some activities that require sudo access. And whenever you require, when you do an activity that requires sudo access, you put this in your task specifying become as yes. Right. Then comes the actual tasks. Ansible can have multiple tasks that you can perform. So here we have three tasks. One is first ensure that we have the latest Git version installed in this machine. Followed by, we want to perform two configuration tasks wherein I want to create a directory. And then once the directory is created, I want to create a simple file with some text called as hello Ansible. And then once all the tasks have been executed clean, I want to print a message saying that playbook has executed successfully. As simple as that. Now here you can notice that name, as you know, specifies the name of the task. And then you have a set of modules. The app, file, and copy is what you called as modules. Ansible has a lot of these configuration related modules, not just for on-premise, but also for cloud, Azure, AWS, GCP, whatever you name it. Ansible has a lot of modules. It's just that you have to find and pick the right module. Where do you find all these modules? Ansible has a brilliant documentation. You can see that if you do your research on Google, Ansible has an excellent documentation, and you have something called as all modules documentation in Ansible. With this AI world, it is inefficient to manually go and keep finding the module that you want. I would recommend just go to ChatGPT or any AI tool that you use and hit whatever you want, and it gives you the piece of code with the exact module that you want. You just need to know how to integrate it into your Ansible playbook to make it work clean, and that's as simple as that. So I hope it's clear here. So maybe just run through just one task in detail. So here, this task is to create a directory, and we are using the module called file. We specify some arguments for each of the module, like path. You want to let the script know where it needs to create the directory and what should be the name of the directory, and followed by state, which would define what is it. Is it a file? Is it a directory? And so on is specified in here. Perfect. Now I will save this file. And let's quickly check that we have mentioned we want this directory to be created on temp. First, let's get into temp and see if there is any directory called my directory created already. No, we don't have. So which means we are good. Now let's go ahead and execute the Ansible playbook. How do you execute an Ansible playbook? You give Ansible space playbook followed by name of the playbook, enter. Now this is going to fail. Yeah. Why? And Ansible also gives you a very good print log message that will clearly help you to identify what the issue is. If you run through this, it will say sudo a password is required. So basically, though become is equal to yes, it is trying to execute the sudo, but then whenever it is trying to run the command as sudo, we have already set a password for the sudo. So it is not an interactive execution. So it is expecting a password, but there is no password, and so it fails. Simple. We just need to pass the password to get this executed clean. How do we do that? The command to execute the playbook with a sudo password is here. Ansible playbook followed by the name of the playbook followed by hyphen hyphen ask minus become minus pass. Enter. It is going to ask you for the become password and we are going to give the password. Enter. Now it's going to work clean. Let's run through the log quickly. Play, it will first play the playbook. It will start with this is a simple playbook, and then it will go ahead with executing each of the tasks, gathering information or gathering facts, and then followed by the task that we have mentioned. Ensure the latest version of Git is installed. Yes, it has gone ahead and did that check. Everything looks good. So it finishes with OK. And then it goes ahead and creates a directory. You see, changed, create a simple file changed, and then finally it prints a message saying that playbook is executed successfully. What does this changed and OK mean? When there is no file that is residing and or directory that is residing, and we are using this playbook to create something brand new and it has created, then in those cases, it will give this state as changed. If it is already existing and it is going to try and create a directory which is already existing, try and create a file which is already existing, then there is nothing it needs to do because they're already there. So it will not give changed in that case. It will only give OK. Let's rerun it because now on the temp, the directory and the file would have already been created. And so you see that it's OK, OK this time, not changed. Has it really created the directory and file? Let's cd. My directory is created. I go to my directory. There is a hello text. I cat it and it says hello Ansible clean. Perfect. That's all I wanted to discuss on today's session. It's just an introductory session to get you all kick-started with Ansible. We are going to see a lot more about Ansible in the coming days, weeks. Thank you so much and see you in another video. Take care. Bye-bye.